Greetings, friends. As always, it's an extremely high honor to welcome you back to Rick's Garage. What you see before you, or at least I hope you can see it, is the instrument cluster on my wife's Nissan. She has the dreaded tire light on. If you look closely, you can see the tire pressure in the left front tire is significantly less than the other tires. Well, this has been going on for a couple of months. We've had a cold winter, and so every once in a while I'd go out and have to put air in the tire for her. But we finally have a nice spring-like day. We're still in March here in the Northeast, but it's in the 60s here today, so I thought it'd be fun to try to find the leak and walk you through repairing this tire. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to find a leak in this tire. Sometimes it's difficult on a slow leak like this, but we'll see what happens. Friends, off camera I went ahead and raised the vehicle. I used one of my Daytona jacks. These jacks have been great. And also I'm using a pad that I fabricated a while back to protect the driveway. A few years ago it cost me quite a bit of money to have this driveway paved, and a jack will sink right into it and damage it. This pad is made out of 3/4 inch plywood, and I got a piece of 13 gauge steel screwed onto it and a couple of handles to make it easy to move around. I'll leave a link at the end of this video on how I constructed that. So off camera I'm going to go ahead and pull this wheel, and I'll come back when we're ready to see what's going on. Alright, I'm going to take a look at it, see if I can find any nails, anything really obvious that's causing a problem. And yep, I see it right there. There's a nail right there. Let's put a little soapy water on it. Yep, it's a very slow leak. You can see it bubbling. So we're going to have to repair this. So I'm not going to stick a plug in it. I'm going to repair it the way it should be repaired. So we're going to dismount this tire, and we're going to put a patch on the inside. The first step in dismounting this tire is we've got to remove the core. Okay, first thing we're going to do now that we've taken the core out is we're going to break down the bead. This is my old rim clamp tire machine. It's probably about 35 years old. I bought it fairly reasonably, and it's been kind of fun having it. Easy enough. Still works pretty good, although it's not very good on these real low profile tires that some of the cars come with. There we go, that was simple enough. And we got to get the other side. I tried to mount a pair of tires for a Corvette once. It was very low profile and there was no chance. But most modern regular tires, it's okay. Stubborn. There we go. There we go. We got it now. We got it now. Probably been on the car since it was new, or at least since we bought it. Looks like this side reseated, so let's hit this again. That happens sometimes with tires that have been on the car for a long time. It's got to reseat. Okay, let's Put it up there, if I can lift it up. And we'll clamp it. There we go. I went ahead and closed one of the garage doors so we won't have such severe shadows. Now this tire has a sensor, TPMS sensor. If you don't position the sensor correctly when you're trying to dismount a tire, you could damage it or even break it right off. So the trick to it is when you're dismounting the tire, you want to have the sensor adjacent to the mounting duct. So we're going to move this sensor around so it's next to the mounting duct. Right about there. Okay. Now, so if you ever wonder when you're having tires mounted and they say they have to replace one or more of your sensors, sometimes it's just because they broke it. They usually put the most inexperienced person on tires. I like to use ordinary soapy water. Every once in a while when my wife isn't looking, I'll go up and steal some of her dishwashing liquid. I'm going to go ahead and change the mounting duct. This is a nicely painted rim and I don't want to scratch it all up. So I've got a special mounting duct that has pads on it so it won't damage a nice rim. So I'll come back when I get that switched up. Alright friends, I've switched up the mounting duct so we won't mar up this rim. Let's lock this in place. Adjust the arm. Okay. Okay, we're ready to go around. Very good. Okay. Now we got to make sure that the rim is actually loose, completely loose. See how it's nice and loose now? So we'll put our mounting duct back. And this time, I'm going to use the curved end of the magic wand here. And we'll go around one more time. There we go. Okay, this is off. Okay. Now that I have marked the location of the nail inside and out, I can go ahead and pull it out. There it is, actually with a screw, and it just barely penetrated that tire. Okay, we're outside. This is a bench you may have seen me use many times if you're familiar with my channel, but this is my tool for spreading a tire so you can work on it. You can see I put a big circle around the damage, and I'm going to put a little X there. So I'm going to put a line right straight through the hole, and then a line right straight through going the other way. Okay, and there's the location of our damage that we have to repair. All right, friends, This is a tool that I use to rough up the tire so we can put the patch on. Now you don't want to use like an air tool with a real high RPM. Be very easy to dig right into this tire and ruin it. So I usually use something a little slower RPM like this. I don't care how long it takes, I just don't want to damage the tire. Alright, that's plenty good enough. Okay, great. Alright, now I'm going to take this tire buffing solution, put a little bit in there. We're just going to kind of clean that all up. And I've obliterated my marks. I better I see where it is anyway. It's fine. I know where it is. It's right there. I should have put these marks a little further out. Matter of fact, I'm going to replace the marks. One mark was right here. The other mark is right there. This mark was right here. And this mark was right there. Okay, I'm taking my shop back. I'm going to suck up all that debris that I caused when I buffed that damage. Okay, get all that out of the way. That was easy enough. Alright friends, now I'm going to take my rubber cement, put it on there quite liberally. We'll let that set up for a little while. Friends, I've selected a medium-sized patch for this hole. It's a very tiny hole. So we're going to fold this patch over and we're going to get it started peeling. We don't want to touch it with our fingers. Alright, I got that side peeled off. This side is starting to come. Alright, so let's get it in position. The hole is right there. So we're going to put it right there. And we're going to peel the other end off without touching it. There it is. Okay, and it's right over the damaged area. And now we're going to use our stitching tool to seat it. Start from the center and work your way outward. Start from the center here and work your way outward. Start from the center, work your way outward. Start from the center, work your way outward. Go all around both directions and diagonally. Each time starting in the center and working your way outward. That ought to be pretty good. And now we're going to take our little razor blade and we're going to peel off this plastic coating. Same thing, start from the center and peel it off toward the outside. Okay, and our repair is done. This is a fairly soft wire brush. It does a nice job. Yeah, that's nice. That rim's going to seat very nicely now. The other thing I want to do to the rim before I remount the tire is remove all the weights. There weren't very many weights on this at all. Just a few right there. This is a special tool for removing these stick-on wheel weights. Does a nice job. It's made out of plastic. Alright, so we didn't have any outside weight, just an inside weight. Although there's a mark here. There's a mark here that may have had a clamp-on weight that might have fallen off at one time, but the car goes smoothly down the road, so I don't know about that. So we're going to mount the tire and then we're going to rebalance it. Alright, before I remount the tire, I'm going to use a product called Euro Paste. It's great stuff. It not only helps lubricate to get the tire slippery, but it also helps seal the bead. Been using this Euro Paste for a number of years. It became popular in Europe, that's thus the name, Euro Paste. Okay, we got that lubed up pretty good. Okay, the tire almost wants to slide on by itself with this Euro Paste, and it did. That's good stuff. Okay, now, as you recall, to protect the TPMS monitor sensor, we dismounted the tire with the sensor right next to the mounting duct. Well, now that we're mounting the tire, we want to do just the opposite. I've got the sensor way on this side, exactly opposite the mounting duct. So let's get this in position here, and we'll start going around with it. Okay, that seems to be going on quite nicely. Beautiful. So just to review, when we're dismounting the tire, we want to start with the sensor right next to the duct head. And when we're remounting the tire, we want to start with the sensor exactly opposite the duck head, or mounting duck. Okay, let's see if we can get this bead to seat. You don't want to put your fingers in there. You can see why. Alright, now we're going to put the core back in. The reason, I'll wait till this motorcycle goes by. It's a nice spring-like day today. It's still winter, but the temperatures are up in the 60s, so everybody's out enjoying the day, riding their motorcycles and whatever. Now the reason we didn't put this core in right away is we wanted to get as much air in as quickly as possible to get the bead to seat. Now that the beads have seated, we can go ahead and put the core back in it as we just did. Now we're going to pump it up to 35 pounds, which is called for. You always want to go not by the tire, but by the car. In the driver's side door of every car, or most every car, it gives the recommended tire pressure. And that's what you need to go by when you're inflating your tires. This car calls for, I think it's 34 pounds. I usually put 35. The first thing to do when we're going to balance the tires, we're going to knock out the center cap. Take a butt end of the hammer and push it right out. Easy as that. Okay, before we put the tire on the computerized wheel balancer, we have to select an adapter that fits well into the center hole of the rim, and that seems to fit the bill quite nicely right there. So I'm going to see if I can lift this tire into place. I'm 72 now, so if it's too heavy I won't be able to do it, but this seems like I can handle it. There we go. Wasn't too bad. Right now we're going to put on the cover here. Okay, that's good and tight. Let's see how it looks. Well, it seems to turn nice and true. Okay, great. That's why I didn't have very many weights on it, I guess. It's a nice tire and nice rim. Okay, I'm going to plug the machine in. Oh, it is in. I'm going to turn it on. Okay. Now we have to give the computer some information. So I'm going to move the camera. Now the machine needs to know how far out the rim is. So we got this little device here we're going to put right there and hold it there. And that's got that information. Now it needs to know the diameter of the rim. And I believe this is a 17. This is a 17. So we're going to tell it that it's a 17 rim. There it is. And now it needs to know how wide the rim is. Well, we've got a special tool here that will measure that for us. It's this tool here. The camera so you can see. And I'm going to put it on the rim. And the rim is 7.5. So we're going to give it that information. 7.5. So we've got our A dimension, how far the rim is out from the machine. Got our D dimension, the diameter of the rim, 17. And we got our B dimension, the thickness of the rim, or how wide the rim is. So now we have to set the machine up for stick-on weight. So we're going to hit the aluminum button, and there's where we're going to put our weights. So for the sake of easy figuring, this will be the inside weight, and this will be the outside weight, the one nearest the spokes. Spokes are on the outside. So let's give it a spin and see what we wind up with. Rim seems to be turning nice and true. Okay, so we've got 1/2 ounce on the inside and 1.5 ounces on the outside. So we're going to mark that up. Okay, so I'm going to mark what I'm calling the outside first, which is this here. All right, there's the outside right there. And I'm putting a little mark right here. Okay. Now I'm going to mark where the inside weight goes. Right there. And I'll mark it right there. But so I'll know which is which, I'm going to put a cross on the inside weight. Okay. So we know the inside weight is 50. I'm going to write 50 right here. And we know the outside weight is 150. I'm going to write 150 right there. I didn't show you that, but I'll show you now. So I've got the outside weight marked, and I wrote 150. And I've got the inside weight, and I put a cross on it so I'll know it's the inside weight, and I got that one marked 50. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of acetone, and I'm going to clean where the inside weight goes, right here. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing off camera. I'm going to clean where the outside weight goes. Okay, friends, I'm ready to install the stick-on weights. As you recall, the inside weight, which I've marked here, only has needs 1/2 ounce, and each one of these weights are 1/2 ounce. So we're going to peel it off, and we're going to stick it right here. There we go. That's going nowhere. Okay, and as you recall, the outside weights needed 1.5. Well, each one of these 1/2, so I'm going to use 3 of them. And I'm putting these down in here where this mark is. Right there. And those are on. Those are going nowhere. These weights are very reliable. Okay, let's put it back on the machine and see how we made out. Okay, friends, let's give it a whirl and see how we made out. 0, 0. Perfect. Friends, I'm 72 now, and I can't lift these tires into place anymore, so I've got this tire dolly, which is a godsend. I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. There we go. Wasn't too bad. The reason I was having a little bit of trouble, that pad that I told you about was in the way a little bit. I should have had it shoved over a little more. But I got it on there, and I didn't have to lift it. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this thing down off camera. So I want to thank you once again for watching Rick's Garage. Before I go, I will put 2 videos to your left, one of which will be how I made this pad to protect the driveway, and the other will be something else I hope you find of interest. And to your right, as always, will be a picture of my avatar in the form of my very trusty German Shepherd. By all means, feel free to click on that should you wish to subscribe to my channel. So thanks a lot for watching, and we hope to see you all very, very soon.